Residents banned from a tower with serious defects. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heiser here, and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. Grab your stein of coffee, because it looks like residents, won't be able to move in to their new apartment building. They've been banned from Imperial Towers in Parramatta until serious defects are fixed. Now, defects are nothing new. Every building will have them. Every building is unique. Every site is unique. Issues happen. That's just a part of construction. When you're doing a project, you need to have a big chunk of money aside for latent conditions, things that you may not have identified, things that are impossible to identify until you open up the building. We had one project we worked on, and during construction, it was a little gym refurbishment, an apartment building. During construction, they discovered that the sprinkler system, which had been maintained again and again and again, where people were coming in and accepting the money to report on it all working fine, wasn't working. It wasn't detecting. One of the detectors wasn't functioning. Shows you how good those people maintaining the system were. So that was an additional cost. All of these other things can appear. Now that's normal. Having defects in buildings is just normal. That's just part of the challenge. That's why you have a defects liability period. 1 year, maybe longer, maybe less, depends on what you said in the contract. During that period, the builder has to come back and repair those defects. Now, how can you make them come back? Well, you withhold a portion of each payment that you pay them, or you have a bank guarantee for them. And if they refuse to come back, you use that money or that bank guarantee to conduct the repairs. There you go. So let's have a look at this and see if this is something we should really be concerned about, or just, a sign of the quality of construction that's happening not just in New South Wales, but throughout all of Australia. There is precedent here, everyone. I have a playlist with over 200 videos now where we've been looking at different construction issues all around Australia. Now, as an architect, I have very little confidence in the method of procurement used to procure a lot of buildings. And by procurement, I'm saying the approach that they take to build these buildings. What it is primarily, most of the time, design and construction. That's where me as the architect would be put away from the developer, underneath the builder. So one of the traditional policemen of quality, which is the architect or the designer, is now working for the person doing the building. Same thing happens to the certifier. That's an issue because there's a conflict of interest there. You can lose a potential client. Happened to me. There's one client we were getting a lot of work for, and I had a disagreement with them over how they were joining two buildings together. Because, with a heavy rain event, it could cause flooding in a corridor, which would be accessible in a hospital. And then that could cause more than all those issues. But, of course, the suggestion I wanted to put forward, which is a more traditional way of building, would have been more expensive. What do you think happened there? I'll have a shot of coffee while you guess. So that's the issue. There are a lot of issues in the construction industry, more than just regulation. It's how they're procured. Now, design and construct works perfectly well for certain projects. But, I think perhaps the market should demand projects that don't have those potential conflict of interest, particularly where people are living. So make sure you check out that playlist. So let's have a look at this article from the ABC. Residents banned from Imperial Towers complex in Parramatta until serious defects are fixed. Oh boy, another one. Residents of a large apartment complex advertised as having flawless design and superior craftsmanship. That's just all rubbish, guys. It's all marketing spiel. You can't fall for it. Have been banned from moving in until the developer fixes a number of serious defects. The 22-story twin Imperial Tower complex on Hassel Street in Parramatta was on Wednesday hit with a probation order banning residents after the New South Wales Building Commissioner David Chandler highlighted major issues with waterproofing and load-bearing components of the building and fire safety. Waterproofing is a really big one. It's a big issue. It's a health and safety issue. It can subtly creep in through a building, causing, mold to grow, which can make a building uninhabitable, which can make the air poisonous to you. Essentially, you're breathing in these spores, and it can kill you. And you can't see it until you open it up. It can also lead to concrete cancer or other things, or just rust happening inside the building that can weaken structural elements. And water is one of the biggest enemies in designing a building. In detailing a building and how to keep it out. When you see, one thing I noticed as a student, we were looking at these new products, these insulated panel products, and we were getting all the technical books from the UK. Then they finally published one for the Australian details. So in the UK, they had these wonderful complex details, folding metal over it, to make sure it's all waterproof and good for the climate. Here in Australia, tech screw, drill, in, done. Okay, many of the 179 apartments have been sold off the plan. Now, if you're a regular viewer, you know how much of a fan I am of off the plan. Because when you're buying the pretty pictures here that are done by architects, nothing's resolved. You may not even have talked to an engineer, or it may just be the engineer doing a bit of free work for the developer to try and get the project happening. That's the risk you're taking buying off the plan. And tenants had been set to move in before the order was issued. Oh, no. The order stated government inspectors documented a range of problems in the Twin Towers, including waterproofing issues, non-compliant structural steel junctions in the basement, and inadequate fire safety systems that heightened the risk of fire spreading throughout the complex. We have been so lucky in Australia with all of the issues that we've had in construction that we haven't had any loss of life. We've been so lucky, everyone. It also found drainage and ventilation issues with the cladding at the base of the walls and at the window and door openings. Commissioner Chandler said the rectification works needed to be urgently addressed and ordered the developer to rectify the problems. I am satisfied that a serious defect in the building exists, Mr. Chandler said in the order. The order also prevents the registration of a strata plan. Developer, Hassal Developments Director Abbas Al-Zine was issued the order this week. The ABC attempted to contact him through his company's registered address, listed as a Punchbowl-based accounting firm. In advertising material, the building is promoted as a dynamic architectural statement. Really? Okay. Sure. Dynamic architectural statement. I mean, there's not much you can do with these things. It's a multi-story box. Literally, the plan is copy-pasted one or the other. The most dynamic thing is this. The cladding that they've got here and the top they put on it. And maybe they change the colours of the way they painted the panels. That's how it's dynamic. Maybe it's better on the ground floor. I don't know. I'm just too cynical about all this stuff, guys. In advertising material, the building is promoted as dramatic. I can't even read. That's the problem. Well, maybe dynamic is a bit more exciting. How is this dramatic? How? Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's nice, clean. But, yeah. This is the problem. There's no level of detail in these type of buildings anymore. Anyway. Dramatic architectural statement showcasing flawless design and superior craftsmanship, with apartments starting about $500,000. It comes just weeks after the Commission issued a similar order for the Skyview apartment complex in Castle Hill by developer Tow Place, after extensive signs of cracking were discovered in the basement. You know, the thing, in some ways I wouldn't even blame the developer. It's the tradies, honestly. Maybe we've lost the skill. Do we still have the skills in this country to build properly? So, what are the solutions to this, everyone? Or what suggestions am I going to make? I'll put two forward. One, we need a dual or multi-certification system. We've got one representing the developer, one paid fully representing the people around the building and other parties, and a third for arbitration. All three have to agree on every approval of the building. Not just one. And maybe bring back the clerk of works or the clerk of works. So you get site supervision. And perhaps look at alternative methods of procurement. These need to come from market. The market needs to start demanding it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. I feel sorry for the people in this building. Could have been worse, though. At least they haven't moved in yet. As always, thanks for watching. If you're a fan of the channel and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links on Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve for Aussie Broadband. You can buy a merch from Heiser Says, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.